Hey, good evening, everybody. Danny Orton here from the Soccer Expansion Project. Let me get to what we're all about. And we have a question to answer in today's little video. But if I look in here, Soccer Expansion Project, on the right-hand side, we are building relationships with people that can help us improve our soccer coaches and clubs and administrators and whatever else it is. So we've got people that help with legal stuff and club structure and lawyers and affiliations and all those types of things. We've got people that help on the player side of things. So from sports performance, nutrition, sports psych folks, we're working with Soccer Profile. More on that in a second. I'll be using that software. Also coaches, curriculums, training methods, data metrics, evaluations. And speaking of evaluations, I was really excited by a session we ran tonight with our 2010 and 2009 boys. They have been a little rowdy, and we found a little bit of a way to tap into them and have them respond appropriately. But more on that on another video. Retail folks, parents, developers, people might want to open a franchise or get involved in local government to try and build fields, whatever it might be. On the left-hand side is everybody, me included, players, coaches, clubs, DOCs, technical directors, parents, and fans. And then inside this portal that we're building here, the Soccer Expansion Project, this is my own sort of mission, if you will, and the idea of having a large area of impact. And for me, it is kids. It's been rough for them for a while. Some would argue it always has been, but sports for me has been a big vehicle for allowing players and young people to evolve, to have that social structure, to have friendships, and it truly is critical for their development. And so within that area of impact, I would like to bring in the folks on the right to come and give their expert knowledge, chat, support, do some webinars, some presentations, some forums, some offers and some access, so some discounts, things like that, and some educational resources so that we can improve, so we can find a way to provide more opportunities for kids, improve those opportunities for kids wherever you are in the world, and sort of understand that bigger mission. So that is the Soccer Expansion Project in a nutshell. Let me just go to my Miro board over here, and I want to talk about a question I got from Christian, which was yesterday's video, who is a great guy, by the way. This was not planned, but anyway, so he asked, can you make a video on how to address a team before the game that you know will be destroyed? Our U10s play in a U11 division, U12s and U13 division, and sometimes it's not even a size issue. What do you say? So this is a great question, and I think what Christian's actually asking too is, if this is a one-off, we can probably roll with that, right? This is a different bucket of experience. It's a one-off game. But if you're playing up the entire time, it might not be a size issue, but maybe a skill issue. There's a chance this is going to be a problem. It's going to be difficult. So it's sort of, how do you make, lemonade out of lemons situation? It is what it is. So I thought about it in this way. We've all been there, I'm sure. But if I go back to this, I want to talk about the goal of us being soccer providers. What is it? If we think about that, we want to think about some of those life lessons and education. And I would be passing this on to players and parents and also opposing coaches, that our goal here as a group of soccer people is to provide a superb experience and a learning experience for all. Specifically, I would then look at players and I would start to ask a few things or give them information in training. Formations, defending stuff, ball off the field, that old adage that if the ball's off the field, they can't score. Battle, your choice of pass once we get it, your emotional response, where's the fun, the kids might ask, and then find other competition. So just to go through these really fast. So formations, if we're talking the younger age groups, we might be in that 9v9 situation. So for example here's a typical setup with the blue team. We're playing against the red team. I should have made the red team bigger. Then it would have been obvious that they're the red team, maybe that big. They're the older team maybe. But we might find ourselves in this situation here, where we got a sort of 3 and a 4 and a 1, something like that. 9v9. So maybe we can start to think about double sweepers, those types of things. So the formation could help. Presuming the other team might play with this three up front kind of thing. A lot of the good teams are really good in the middle of midfield, and I find that when there's a bit of a disconnect or there's a little bit of a difference, it's here that it's really visible, because maybe the other team's just better on the ball, shielding, getting it, turning, passing, moving, and you can't get out, and they win it back, and they're now at you again. So I find that maybe we sort of don't worry about that so much, and that sounds counterintuitive, but let people play in there and run around. But that might be a big ask. What could be really simple formation-wise, for example, would just be to mark their highest players and then add one or two others. So if we go to that situation there and just say to John or Sally, this is your player to mark. We'll talk about what they're going to do later. And then we're going to find a way that then we just add cover on this side, and we're going to add cover on this side. All right. So you've always got an extra player that's always backed up, and it's easy to understand this. And at that point there, you've got sort of two in the centre of midfield, and they're just going to battle and scrap away, and probably someone that's just working hard and as a target and as someone that can give someone an out ball. All right. So that could be a way, formation-wise, that just makes it a little simpler, and also makes things a lot harder for the other team. Right. So then we come on to the next part, which is, this defending piece, which obviously is really important, right? The score line is going to dictate some frustrations from players and parents and some disappointments, why we're doing this kind of thing. So the individual defending part might be something that we work on in training. And we always talk about the 7 S's of defending, speed, slow, stop, side on, shuffle, serve, shepherd. Just get into those low positions. Don't try to win the ball, slow them down, and give the players praise for those types of things. So the defending part is good. Clearances, ball off the field, this play here, choice of pass once we win it. Let's say this person's done a good job. What do we do? Do we go in here? Probably not. Maybe this ball can go off the field and we can reset. Maybe if we're decent, we could get someone in here and just try and play from there. But talk about goals. It could be that if we're expected to lose 6-0 here, maybe we keep it to 2. Hey, how long, girls, can we keep the other team out for? Can we make them frustrated? Talk about those little wins within that. And that could be the emotional response. Get a little fun, build a little bit of fun into the fact that it's okay. We're okay. And again, back to Christian's question, if I knew that this was going to be an issue all season long and you're trying to sell a fun experience and it's not because there's a big mismatch, I'd find other competition. I'd go find a scrimmage without being rude or disrespectful to another group. I'd maybe go find a chance for the team to come and play someone in a practice session and see the ball and have some success and score goals and those types of things. And maybe make a big deal of it. Have the parents come say, hey, we're going to special scrimmage against XYZ club and go from there. The other concern, of course, as DOCs and coaches is what do we talk about with parents? If they don't understand all of this great work that your players are about to do in these situations, and you can see that, and the girls or the boys come off and they're smiling. We kept that team to 2 goals, coach. I did this one, I did that one, I cleared it, I battled, I scrapped, and I feel proud of that. Your heart will swell. You'll be excited. But what about the parents? Do they understand that? Do they understand the win of that? So I would bring them in and talk to them, say, hey, these are the expectations. We're playing up all year long, and not only big kids, but good kids. And this is what's going to happen. This is what it's going to look like. We're going to be looking for pride from your kid, grit, determination. We're going to add this to the bucket of our experience. It's going to be tough, but understand that playing against good teams, even when they get older, you might be out of possession 70% of the time. Well, now this season gives us a great opportunity to go practice being out of possession. As the players get older, of course, you can start talking about closing gaps and, getting on the same side of the field as the ball, those types of things. A couple of examples just here, right? Those types of things. So we can start to really see some tactical practice, and that's what you're working on. And if parents can see that, there's a decent, and that's the scary thing, isn't it, right? My parents are mad because our team lost 6-0 again. It's just not fair. Then I think that takes away a little bit of the stress. So I bring them in, say, this is the deal. This is what's going to happen. And then all of a sudden, when it happens, you'll sleep okay. All right. So I'd keep checking on the kids, have them support them for their mini wins. Help them out as much as you can with defending and training. Help them out with a formation piece. Be okay to be defensive. I think a lot of youth coaches also, this is just my own thing, will coach only one way. This is how it is. And then you end up with a mismatch. And it's like, okay, the kids are miserable. We lost 10-0. And we played the formation that we're supposed to play. When we had the ball, we spread out and looked like this, and we were huge as we should be, but there was just such a mismatch. That ball goes in there, got turned over because they're good, and then boom, they're in, and it's now 12-0. Well, I struggle with that a bit. I would say we want to help them, right? We want to give them an experience they can cling to, which is there's more than one way to play this game. It's okay for these matches to play something a little different. A little compact, a little different formation, double sweepers in this situation, right? So that could be ways to approach it. But the last one I put down is the one that I think sort of stands out a bit. For the good of the game, ... Why don't we mix up teams? Have a scrimmage. Make some friends. Have some fun. And if I go to this question here, this is where I will hear, well, I mean, it's one club versus another club. Yeah, it's 12-0. You've travelled an hour to be there. It's no fun for anyone. We'll record the scorers, whatever you want to do, but why don't we switch at half time, mix up, give out pennies and play? What would be wrong with that? Anything? What if the refs say, well, we can't do that? Why not? We recorded. You guys won the game. We've given it. It's half time and it's 8-0. It's pointless playing another 30 or 40 minutes of this. Why don't we just mix up, have some fun, and do it that way? What would be the result of that? Make new friends, have a competitive game, two coaches bond, parents reduces their angst on the sideline. No one's going to do this, by the way. It will happen in a rec soccer program, but even a competitive soccer program, why can't we do this? Maybe we don't. Maybe it's 4-0. We're not going to do it. But I'm talking about a massive mismatch. It's clearly not going to be beneficial for anybody, and it's hard to watch. It's 15-0 at half time. There's no reason that game should be played in the second half as it is. It's not going to be fun. It's going to be really awkward, right? I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Why not? Why couldn't that happen? Hey, you know what? We played this team. It was a massive mismatch. We felt really bad for them. The game was won. We got the points for our league table, U10s, or whatever it might be. And then we actually just mixed up the teams and blast. Played a 3-3 scrimmage. Referees were chill. The parents relaxed. Everyone got to meet each other and did a picture at the end of the game. Please don't tell me that a league person's going to step in there and say we can't do that. They will. I hope not. Anyway, so Mr. Christian, my friend, I hope that helps. I'd be interested to hear your response or anyone else's response. But I've actually been in these situations where I had a group, actually a CSA group, Christian, in 2003. And they were kind of like they were playing locally, but I knew they were going to struggle. And I think for 4 years we worked on individual defending and technical ability. And we didn't win for a long time. And finally we did. And once they got to be juniors, they were really good and a really nice team. So anyway, I hope that helps everybody. And again, look forward to the next things as we go on the Soccer Expansion Project. Cheers. Thanks a lot.